Hello and welcome everyone. Today in this video we will be creating an automation where we will set the color of a Excel cell using the UiPath. So we can change the cell color of any cell using UiPath. There is a set range color activity where you can statically change the color of cells present in the Excel, where you just need to provide the range or cell name or the cell name where you, and that cell will get the color of the cell will get changed. But one modification we will be doing over here in this practical or in this tutorial is that we will add something to it. We will retrieve or extract the values present in each cell, and if that cell has values in it or if that cell is not empty, then and then only we will change the color of that cell. So now you can see that B2 cell has been selected. It has some value to it, so we will change the cell color of this. If you see the C4, it doesn't have any data in it or it doesn't have any value to it, so we will not change the color of this C4. So this will be the aim of today's video we will be doing. So let's start with it. So first thing we need to do is take the activity Excel application scope. This activity will be used to work with the Excel file. We will choose the file location. We will be working on this file that is present over here. Some prerequisites have already been selected. Don't change anything to it. So in the do activity, first thing we need to do is we will take the set range color activity that is used to change the color of the cell. First thing we need to do is select the color. Here we can provide the range. Let me just put in A1 to C1 and sheet. So what this will do is, if we run this program or this automation, it will change the color from A1 to C1. So you can see from A1 to C1 it has changed the color to green. So this set range color is used to change the color of the cells, but this is too easy. So what we will be doing is change the color if data is present and keep the color as it is if data is not present. So to do that, we need to extract the data. So to do that, we will use the read range activity. Read range activity. So there are two read range activities. You need to select this Excel one, not the workbook one. So below the set range color, we will be selecting the read range activity. By default, it has selected the sheet 1. You can work with sheet 2, sheet 3, and you can change it over here. This over here is used to select the cells if you want to work on particular cells, but we want to completely work on complete sheet 1. So this add headers is selected by default. So if you have these headers present in your data, then you need to check this one. If you don't have it and you from the starting row itself you have data, then just uncheck it. But now we have headers present in here, record, name, mobile. So what we will be doing is selecting it. Now when the data will be read from the Excel file, we need to save the extracted data. So we will be creating one variable output table of data table variable type. We will create one more here, row index. I will tell you why it is used, but we will create one output table data table variable where the extracted structured data, table structured data from the Excel will be saved in this output table. So we have extracted the data. We need to iterate through that data, through that output table one by one. So for that we will be using for each row in data table. For each, just like how we iterate through collections using for each loop or for each activity, we will be using for each row in data table activity to iterate through each rows present in that data table. It will take one parameter, the data table itself. So for each current row in output table, so it will first visit this row, then second row, then third row, fourth row. It will iterate through all the rows using this for each row data table. After iterating through each table, we need to get the index value of this row. This row or this object has data present in that row. What we now want to do is get the index value of that row. So for that we will be using row index variable, which will store the current index of the current row. So it will take row index, and what we will be doing here is, let me just expand it. So our data table, that is output table dot rows dot index of, and index of will take the parameter as current row. So it will return the index of current row and it will assign it to the row index value. After this, what we will be doing is we need to iterate through columns as well present in that row. So first row has 3 columns, so first row we need to iterate through these columns as well, first, then second, then third. So for that we will be using while loop. So this while loop will be used. Let me just check where I have. Okay, so this while loop will be used to iterate through columns. And now we need to iterate from 0th column to the last column. So we'll create one variable call count. What this will do is it will iterate from 0. So we need to iterate from 0th column to the last column. So what we will do is call count is less than, so it will iterate from, we need to iterate from 0 to the second row, for example 0 first second. So the last row of the data table, it needs to iterate to that. So what we will be doing is our output table dot columns dot count. So if we have 3 columns, it will iterate from 0 1 2. If we have 5 columns, it will iterate from 0 1 2 3 4. So that we will be doing over here. Yeah, so we forgot to change it to integer value. So this column count will run from here, from 0 to that count. Next thing we need to do is the main condition of our program, where we will check if data is present in that Excel cell or not. That we will be doing in this if condition. In this if condition, we need to provide, we will check the current row in this current row and the current column dot toString. What this will return is the value present in that rows, that column. So for example, if we consider this, so in this row, this column, so for in the first row, second row, first column, what the value is present, it will just retrieve that. And if we will check, it is not empty. So what this will just return, okay, what we have done wrong over here is this while loop must be present in this body. So the for each row, the current row, in that we took the assign variable, assign activity, the while loop must be in this for each activity itself. So below the assign thing, we need to have the while loop. So when it will select row, in that row it will select the first column, second column, third column itself. So now if the column count is not, if this cell is not empty, then we need to change the color. If it is empty, the else part will be run and we will keep it empty. The else part will be remain empty. One more thing that we need to do is the call count variable, it should be the scope should be the body itself. So the while condition has the body, so we need to replace the scope of, it should not be the sequence or do anything, it should be body, so that it will return back to 0. So when the first row is done, first rows 1 2 3 columns are done, again it should be returned back to 0. So that scope needs to be set to body, this one. So now if it is not null, if it is not empty, then this part will get run, and in it we need to do an assign. In that assign, what we will do is we will generate column name. So let me just create one variable column name. What I mean by column name is that this is 0, this call count is having the value 0 1 2, but what we actually need is this A B C D E. You can see here C2 B2 A2. We need that name to be present. So for that we will be doing this assign. We need to convert that call count number into column name A B C D. So what we'll be doing over here is using the convert dot to character, and this to character will take the parameter as 65 plus call count. 65 because it is associated with the ASCII value, to string. So this will convert this 0 or 1 or 2 to A B C D itself. This assign will do that. Next we need is another assign activity. What this assign activity will do is we need to merge the column and row. So this C we have got, we are using that assign. We have the row index 1 2 3 4. We need to merge this C and 2 or C and 1, A or 1, row and column. We will be doing this over here. So we will generate another variable, cell name. So we'll get over here A2 B2 C2 as it is. So for that what we will be doing is merging or concatenating the row and column. For that we will do is call name that we just got plus row index plus 2 dot to string. Now why this plus 2? There is a reason behind it. So we are working from 0th index, 0 1 2 3. So plus 1 is definitely the thing. Another thing is that this row is of just headers. We don't need to I don't need to count these. So for 0th index plus 1, and for this first row we are ignoring the first row, so plus 1 again. so plus 2. So this second row will be considered as the first row. So for that we need to add the plus 2 over here. So we have done okay. Now what we need to do is we need to change the color of this cell. So we will take another set range color activity. We will select a color for that. What we can do is blue. Now we don't need to provide the values statically, we can just put over here cell name. So what this will do, if the cell has data present in it, it will get the name of that cell and it will change the color of that cell. One last thing we need to do is we are using the while loop. So we have provided the condition, the statements. One last thing we need to do is increment. So again we will take one last assign and we will increment the column. So call count equals to call count plus 1. This will increment the columns. So let us just revise what we have done. We have taken Excel application scope where we have as we are working with the Excel file, we are statically changing the colors of the headers over here. Then we are reading the data in output table, data table. We are iterating through each row. Then using while loop we are iterating through each column of that row. Once we are getting that row, we are checking if that row, that cell has the data present in it. If the cell has data present in it, we are retrieving the cell name and changing the color of that cell. So let us try to run the program and check if we have done it right. So as you can see, this we have done statically. We have provided A1 to C1, but this over here that has turned blue, it has checked each cell if it has data present in it. If it has data present in it, it has changed the color, and the cells that are empty have been unchanged. So this was the practical that we were trying to achieve, and we have done it. So thank you for watching.